Moment as a faculty of Department of Panchakarma, Amrita School of Ayurveda, to stand here on the successful completion of eMAP project, which was funded by Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapith, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. The project was initially visioned and proposed by Dr. Anantram Sharma, former HOD, Department of Panchakarma, Amrita School of Ayurveda, and was later handed over to Dr. K. Parameshwaran Nambudri, the principal investigator of the project. The project was intended to develop an online e-learning module for learning, teaching, and practicing Panchakarma. The entire content of our web portal was prepared by Panchakarma teachers from various Ayurveda colleges across the country and was peer-reviewed by a panel of expert teaching panel which comprised of HOD and professors from the reputed institutions across the country. The web portal offers learning modules based on lesson plans, illustrated animations, self-assessment aids, and illustrative videos on various practically applied Panchakarma therapies. We have put in all effort to make the web portal a very user-friendly and reliable portal with the help of our own sister institution, Amrita Create. The videography was done by a team of professional kinetographers, and the audio recordings for the illustrations were done by our own students. Now let's have a glance of the promo video. Video, please. Hopefully, we believe that this portal will pave a new horizon for learning, teaching, and practicing Panchakarma, and will benefit the entire Ayurveda fraternity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Aishwarya. Thank you for that kind invitation, kind introduction. May I now invite Dr. Sushma from Amrita School of Ayurveda to talk about AyurCeL.
Dr. Sushma N.S. She's the Assistant Professor, Department of Shalakyatantra, Amrita School of Ayurveda, and also she's the co-investigator of the AyurCeL portal. Welcome, ma'am.
Om Amriteshwariye Namaha. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of my beloved Amma, and pranams to all the dignitaries, guests, faculties, and my dear students. Satata Adhyayanam Vadaha Paratantravalokanam Tadvidya Acharya Seva Cha Buddhi Meda Karo Ganaha. Continuous learning, debates, review of literature, and learning from experts on one's intelligence and skills, mentioned in Sushruta Samhita. This is what our project AyurCeL is. Each one of you can participate in this three way. The first way, you can participate as contributing clinician, where we can showcase your successful cases with many interactive quick browsing options. This module 1, which capture your real world clinical practice, is known as AyurCeL Clinical Case Repository. The second way, you can participate as post-publication reviewer, where you can verify Ayurveda-related clinical case reports published in journal with care guidelines checklist, which will help you to learn how to improve case report writing and publishing. This module 2 is called as post-publication review portal. The third way, you can participate as author of preprints, where you can read and prepare a pre-publication draft of your work, which can be fast-tracked publication of preprint version of case reports. This module 3 is called as Ayurveda Case Report Preprint Archive. Like this, you can play a role of contributing clinician, post-publication reviewer, and author of preprints. Let us know how to submit your successful case report to this portal AyurCeL with this video. Please have a look.
Are you a successful Ayurvedic practitioner? Have you documented the clinical outcomes of your best cases? Do you want to showcase your clinical experiences? If your answer to all these questions is yes, but you do not have the time or resources, we have a solution for you. AyurCeL is a project implemented by the Amrita School of Ayurveda and developed by the Amrita Center for Research in Analytics, Technologies and Education. This project is funded by the Rashtriya Ayurved Vidyapeeth, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. The project aims to create an online portal showcasing successful clinical cases treated by Ayurveda physicians in the form of audio and video narratives and summaries. It will give graphical abstracts, photographs, illustrations, timelines, classical references, and an understanding of the disease according to modern science and Ayurveda, highlighting the main takeaway lessons from the case. Why should you participate in AyurCeL? By contributing to AyurCeL, you will build your clinical profile, bringing visibility to your practice among the general public and the Ayurveda community. This will enable the public to make informed choices in choosing their healthcare providers and other Ayurveda practitioners to make referrals. Clinicians sharing their success stories creates an opportunity for strengthening clinical skills based on each other's clinical experience. How will my cases be showcased? The AyurCeL portal will showcase all the selected clinical cases with graphics and narratives. In addition, a preprint version of a case report will be published in the preprint server of the AyurCeL archive. Clinicians can convert this preprint into a case report for publication in a regular journal. How are the cases selected? You should have objective documentation with relevant parameters done at the beginning and end of the treatment. Share all treatment details and investigations without disclosing the patient's identity. Obtain informed consent from the patient to publish the case. How to submit cases? It is easy for you to submit your cases. Make a call, ping us on WhatsApp, or email us. Our team will check if your case meets the selection criteria. Send the details of the cases as voice recordings or text messages with supporting images or PDF of medical reports. You can sign up using the link below to make things more accessible. Sign up form, name, affiliation, WhatsApp and phone number. Contacts: WhatsApp numbers Dr. Sharanya 9746 719086, Dr. Swan Lata 9746967381. Email ayurcel@ay.amrita.edu.
Thank you. Nam Shivaya.
Thank you, Dr. Sushma. That was a very kind and nice presentation. The details of the presentation and the contacts will be made available to all of you, if that was fast. Before we move into the launch, the most auspicious event, we would like to give a hearty welcome to all the students and scholars from Ayurveda institutions who have also joined us from elsewhere, here and online. It's now a time, may I please request Honorable Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha ji, Pujya Swami Shankaramridandapuri, Dr. Ram Manohar, and Dr. Prema Nedagadi, and Dr. K. Parameshwaran Nambudiri to come on stage for the launch of eMAP and AyurCeL. Please come, sir. Thank you. We express our sincere gratitude on this launch to all the dignitaries here, and especially our Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha ji, Swamiji, Dr. Ram Manohar, Dr. Prema Nedagadi. Thank you for joining us on stage. We now request Dr. K. Parameshwaran Nambudiri, the principal investigator for the eMAP project, to do the demo. Thank you, sir.
Dr. K. Parameshwaran Nambudiri. More than 13 years of UG and PG teaching, published a number of scholarly articles in various index journals. A team member in developing assessment scores for various Panchakarma procedures. Member in Board of Studies, Kerala University of Health Sciences. Gramajyoti Puraskar for emerging Ayurvedic practitioner. And now the principal investigator of eMAP. Welcome, sir.
Om Amrita Namaha. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of Amma. My humble pranams to all the dignitaries who have joined here for this program. It is a very prestigious moment for us to be a part of this program, the launching of our project, eMAP, e-module application for Panchakarma. Because it was a project that was initiated by our former HOD, Dr. Anantram Sharma. And after that, I had to be the principal investigator of this project. And by the support of this, all the faculty members and from our college, they extended a great support in completing this project on time. And the support extended by various faculties, expert panel members, that cannot be ignored, because that much of the strains that we could take in this project to make this website in this form. So I'm thanking all the members who have joined us in completing this project on time on behalf of School of Ayurveda. And now we will move to the demonstration of this project, of this website. Video, please. After clicking this eMAP.co.in, then it will be directed to the home page. And this home page, that will be a video coverage of the minimal procedures will be shown initially when it is directed to the home page. And there we have a brief about the project and what all are the things which we are providing in this project, that a brief about us is mentioned. And from there we have to go no more. And again, this about us, it is mostly mentioned about regarding the scope this project and the facilities and features, what all are the scope of this project, objective of this project are being highlighted here in this heading. And again, back to this, then we will be moving to the key features of this project, that 8 key features are have been highlighted, like learning module, video illustrations, Parayanam, animations, database, directory services, study materials, etc. And if we go on, then there will be a registration button will be there, that we have to click for registering into this site. And once we click this register button, the details will be asked further for the completion of the registration. There we have 4 categories, UG student, PG student, faculty and practitioner. And once the registration process is over, then here we have our panel of experts who have been contributed to this project, as Swamiji as the chief mentor, and these all are our whole team in this project. And these all are the expert panel members, and many of the expert panel members are here in front of us. And these all are the members who helped in giving the notes and the evaluation of this contribution of these notes regarding the various topics of Panchakarma. Once the registration process is completed, then it will be asked for this login. Once this login, then it will be directed to the other page, that is the main page of this website. There we have the all modules. There we have all these modules like learning module, video illustrations, then Parayanam, animations, databases, self-assessment, directory services, study materials, etc. These all are the different key features that we have provided in this site. So once this learning module, if you go for the UG module, then again the subset of 10 features, then 10 modules will be appeared, including the standard operating procedures. And if we go detail into the module, if we click to the, for example, Snehana, this UG syllabus based lesson plans are being enlisted here. And if we click any of these sessions accordingly, it will be redirected to that particular page. For example, this etymology and definition of Snehana, and there you can have all the explanatory notes. If we click it on this, then it will show all the explanation regarding that concerned topic, which is given as the heading, that will be appeared. And important slokas concerned with that particular topic will be highlighted. And if we need the audio of this particular sloka, there you can hear this.
Sukshmam saram snigdham pichilam guru shitalam प्रायो मन्दं मृदुच्च यद्द्रव्यं तत् स्नेहनं मतम्.
This is the audio of that particular sloka. Then if you go back, and again this all the topics have given, or at last self-assessment session is given with a set of 30 questions. One can go and you can answer it, and it will show the score of this after once this assessment is completed, and it will show your how much you could score. That also it will be showed after this. So this is a self-assessment that in every module it is given. This self-assessment comprising of 30 questions. And then if we going back, then we have all these 10 features. Then if we go to that was in the UG module, then if we go to the PG module, a little bit of changes. What the changes have been made is that it is not distributed as per the, it is divided as per syllabus, but lesson plans are not there as in the PG syllabus. It is not divided on the lesson basis. So all the details regarding the samhita means related to the topic, along with the descriptive analysis, all these things have been highlighted here, along with the slokas, and their audio file also is attached.
Sneha Swedopapannam Anubahata Manasam Abhisamikshya Sughoshidam Suprajirna Bhaktam Shirasnadam Anulipta Gatram Srakvinam Anubahata Vastra Samvidam Devada Agni Dvija Guru Vrittha Vaidyan Archita Vandam Ishte Nakshatra Tithi Karana Muhurte.
So that is in the PG module, a very critical analysis of the topics along with the commentary also has been highlighted there. And then going to the video illustrations, there we have video illustrations of different Ayurvedic procedures which are being commonly practiced and which is based on the syllabus. All the videos have been made and it is listed here. Once you click on the videos, that will be appeared. This is Karnapurana.
Karnapurana is a procedure in which the medicine is instilled into the ear canal and retained for a specific time. The duration of the procedure depends upon the Rogasthana.
Shirodhara.
Shirodhara is the procedure in which liquid medicaments like Taila, Kshira, or Kashaya is poured in a continuous flow of stream on the forehead in an oscillating manner. Oscillation of the Dhara Patra should be neither too fast nor too slow. Also, the flow of stream should not go beyond the temporal region on both sides.
Churnapinda Sweda is a type of fermentation where bolus of medicated powder tied into a potli is applied over the body by dipping in warm oil for a specific duration of time. The heated potli is applied by patting it as linear strokes over the neck region to the hands. The heated potli is applied by patting it over hand to foot by one therapist, while the other therapist covers from back region to foot.
These all are the video files. Then the other feature is the Parayanam, where we have included the Parayanam of the Panchakarma related chapters from Ashtanga Hridaya that has been added like this. If we go, for example, if we take this Sweda Vidhi.
अथात स्वेदविधिमध्यायं व्याख्यास्यामः इति हस्माहुरात्रेयादयो महर्षयः स्वेदस्तापोपनाहोष्म द्रवभेदाच्चतुर्विधः तापोऽग्नितप्तवसन भालहस्ततलादिभिः उपनाहो वजाकिण्व शताह्वादेवदारुभिः धान्यैः समस्तैर्गन्धैश्च रास्नैरण्डजडामिषैः उद्रिक्तलवणैः स्नेहशुक्ततक्रपयप्लुतैः केवले पवने श्लेष्मसंसृष्टे सुरसादिभिः पित्तेन पद्मगाद्यैस्तु साल्वणाख्यैः पुनः पुनः.
So these all are the audio files, Ashtanga Hridaya based, all the chapters related with the Panchakarma are being in. Next going to the animations, where we have different Sweda, everything has been mentioned here. So that has been given in the animation list, the animations of
Jayantaka
different
Sweda.
procedure. Example, Jayantaka
A
Sweda.
circular hut is built at a distance of 7 to 8 aratni from the southern or eastern bank of any water reservoir with a uniform height and diameter of 6 aratni, which is well plastered with mud. A circular furnace having fine holes with a diameter of 4 hasta and height equal to that of the individual is ignited with wood and placed in the center. A bench of 1 aratni width and height is built along the inner wall of the hut, and patient having undergone massage with Vadahara Taila is instructed to lie down on the bench covered in a blanket till Sammik Svedana Lakshanas are observed.
These all are given in the different animations of different procedures, and different concepts are being. Then comes the list of indexed articles. There we have publications related details regarding the Scopus and the PubMed publications, and it is given in another Excel sheet which would be able to update in the coming future, that we can update. So if we click on that link, it will be guided to that concerned journal, and it is easy for the readers to access. And the text name of the recent and Panchakarma books has been published till yet. Almost many of the publications that we could collect, and this also in the Excel sheet, which would be helpful for future updation. Then comes the self-assessment. There the students will be possible to, here we have a list of procedures. There you can select whichever according to your interest, and according to that the questions will be appeared, and each quiz session will be comprised of 30 questions, and just as we mentioned in the previous slide, there also here a list of procedures has been given, and according to that you can have the self-assessment questionnaire. Then comes the directory services, where we have different list of colleges having the PG Panchakarma courses and PhD Panchakarma courses along with their details. And then there we have the list of agencies who does supply the Panchakarma equipments with their all details. Then the list of Panchakarma PGs and PhD holders who have been already registered, that also have been, we tried to collect our maximum. that also kept in the Excel sheet to update. And then comes the study materials in in this section. We have PowerPoint presentations. We have included more than 50 PowerPoint presentations for the, just like this, there you click, it will be played. And more than 50 presentations regarding the importance of Panchakarma and the role of Panchakarma in different clinical conditions and in management, in disease management, how the Panchakarmas are being utilized. Different aspects of different procedures are also enlisted in this PPT slides. And there we have another module, that is study materials. In that, downloadable notes is there. There you have the notes, that is both UG notes and PG notes. So if you click to the PG notes, it will be appeared and it will be directed to the topics. There you will have a list of topics, and according to that, which topics you required, there you can have a click and it will be redirected to that particular topic, and from there you can read or you can download these materials like this. This is about Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham, which is being Amma as the light of our institution. These all are the vision of the this Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapith. It is being the main source of inspiration and source of funding for this project, and they have given the maximum support to complete this project in a perfect manner and in correct time. So their support is also not ignorable, that in the future also they will extend their support for further upgradations of these projects. And we have a support team, that is Amrita School of Ayurveda, myself, and we 5 members of this team. There will be for all the supports, and we have this inquiries also will be answered according to the questions. Like that, we have planned this website for the betterment of the students in the future, to make their academic studies an easy one. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Nambudiri. These interactive textbooks of the future are definitely a big add-on to the armor of what Ayurveda institutions are doing to India and to the world. Let me now, AyurCeL, or Ayurveda Clinical E-Learning, is a project implemented by Acharya, a research wing of Amrita School of Ayurveda. May I now invite Dr. Ram Manohar for the demo of the AyurCeL portal. Thank you, sir.
Dr. P. Ram Manohar is the Research Director of Amrita School of Ayurveda. He has been contributing in the field of Ayurvedic research since the last 30 years. Sir has several awards to his credits. Few of them are Ayurveda Ratan Award, Dhanvantri Award, Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgevar Healing Honor 2021, and many more. He has made research visits to the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, etc. for the promotion of Ayurveda. Dr. Ram Manohar is also the principal investigator of AyurCeL.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. My pranams to all the distinguished dignitaries here and all the colleagues, friends, students from the Ayurveda community. It's a moment of great pleasure and honor that we are able to present, our outcomes of our 2 prestigious projects before this august audience. I will now briefly give an overview of what AyurCeL is. It's already been introduced in a brief way. So AyurCeL stands for Ayurveda Clinical E-Learning. This is not the slide. It's okay. Yes. So as you can see here, AyurCeL has basically three components. It's a clinical case repository, a post-publication review portal, and a preprint server together. So AyurCeL is basically, we are reaching out to society. I mean, the Ayurvedic community are both contributors and beneficiaries of this web portal. So as was described a little earlier, you can contribute as a clinician, you can contribute as a reviewer, you can also contribute as an author to all these three, components of AyurCeL. Not only that, if you're not yet ready to contribute as a clinician, reviewer or author, AyurCeL also serves as a learning resource to begin with. So AyurCeL is a platform where students, especially internees, upcoming doctors, and also professionals can learn from each other. And this portal also offers a tool for learning how to write better case reports. So this is not just about generating information, but also converting that information that we generate from clinical practice into evidence that can help Ayurveda get legal recognition, worldwide. This we consider as a first step in this process. And not only is the Ayurvedic community going to be benefited by this, it is also targeting the public. So we are going to launch very shortly a version of AyurCeL called AyurCeL Public, where all the information that we have, which are very technical, will be filtered and made available in a user-friendly form to the general public so that they can take informed decisions. Who are the best clinicians? What are their expertise? Which are the best hospitals that they can actually refer to for which conditions? So this is AyurCeL Public. So to summarize, AyurCeL targets clinicians, reviewers and authors. It's actually, we are creating a platform for the Ayurvedic community to come and participate in this great yajna of evidence building so that we can showcase Ayurveda as a future medical system of the world. So clinicians, reviewers, authors, it's a tool for continued clinical learning and a resource for the general public. So let's have a quick look at how the website functions. The AyurCeL Clinical Case Repository aims to capture real-world clinical practice. And when you open the home page, this is how it goes. ayurcel.org. So you can see the various modules. Each of these modules have architecture of its own. There's a complex architecture inside, which I will explain very briefly. So you have the links where you can start interacting with the portal right from the home page as a clinician. And of course we have login, register. I'm not demonstrating that to save time. All the about us, other features, all individuals have contributed, institutions are all acknowledged. So if you look at the architecture of this AyurCeL, this is how it is. Cases are presented as case summaries. I mean, you can listen to the various cases on the go. If you're busy traveling, you can just plug in your earphones and then start listening, browsing to the cases. Or if you are in a mood to watch visually, then you have these case narratives as beautiful videos. They're not interactive, they're videos. And then you have graphical abstracts. So it caters to a wide range of tastes, so that whatever situation you are in or whatever is your inclination, you can interact and learn. And then we have also, for the more academic people, written narrative of the case. We have case details. Immediately this is working like a data mining interface. You have search options. You can search for cases in the database using biomedical diagnosis or Ayurvedic diagnosis, both. And then you have also case query modules where you can do wild search. You type any term, and if it is there in the database, it will pull it out for you. Or you can do an advanced search with controlled vocabulary, where you have structured, querying. We also have a featured cases column, which will be dynamically getting updated, where the best cases as they come in, the most interesting cases will be portrayed on the homepage. And then, of course, this is also, because we have 9 experts reviewing every case. Even when a case report is published, it's sometimes just one reviewer doing it. We have 3-level peer reviewing system. So we think it's good to highlight all the clinicians who have contributed. They deserve this recognition. So there is a separate link to highlight all the contributing clinicians as well as the peer reviewers, who have participated in this process. So you can see a featured clinicians tab, and where you click on that, you will get all their details, profile, what cases they have treated, where they are successful. And then this is again a participatory section where people who read about this portal, engage in this portal, they can participate by writing blogs, their impressions. They can add to with their own experiences and build up, this whole information in an interactive way. So this is the overall architecture, and let's have a look at how it will work, when you interact with it. So as you can see, these were the modules I explained. This is how you interact. Search options. This is the featured cases section. And then we have the featured clinicians tab. They're right on the home page, so that, as the people open the AyurCeL webpage, they are also looking at the clinicians who have contributed. And this is the blog section. Now I'd like to, because there are many audio visuals here, but I would like to share one audio narrative and one video narrative to get a feel of what kind of audio visuals are there in this portal. So this is how the audio summaries will be listed, and you can pick up any one of them and listen to them at your leisure.
A 1.5-year-old girl child was diagnosed with preseptal cellulitis. The biomedical diagnosis was confirmed by clinical examination and culture tests done at the pediatric hospital. The first episode of swelling and redness in the eyelids was when the child was 1 year old. She had undergone standard of care at a multi-speciality hospital. During the inpatient treatment, she gradually improved symptomatically and was discharged with medicines. But after 2 to 3 months, the condition recurred, and this time it was more severe than earlier episode. The parents opted Ayurvedic treatment this time and brought the child to consult Dr. Ashwani seeking Ayurvedic treatment. The presenting complaints were upper eyelid edema of both the eyes for 3 months. This was diagnosed as Shofa in the Amavastha, and the appropriate treatment was given. After 15 days of Ayurvedic medicines, edema and redness reduced significantly. After 30 days of treatment, only mild edema and redness persisted. After 60 days, edema and redness were completely relieved. The child has no recurrence up to 1 year, last followed up. This case report demonstrates the successful Ayurvedic management of preseptal cellulitis in a child that was not satisfactorily responding to the standard of care.
So then we have video narratives. So just have a look at one of the video narratives. So this is how all the video narratives are listed, and you can pick up.
a 30-year-old female COVID positive patient was hospitalized on 7th May 2021, presenting with fever, body ache, and breathing difficulty for 1 week. On 10th May, her saturation was dropping to less than 90, even with 15 liters of non-rebreather mask. She was shifted to intensive care unit. On 19th May, saturation dropped to 40 and she started gasping for breath. The patient also developed high-grade fever and diarrhea. Despite treatment with strong antibiotics and steroids, her condition rapidly deteriorated and she presented with acute respiratory distress syndrome. The SpO2 dropped to 40, demanding immediate intubation. An emergency was declared and the grave prognosis was explained to the family. The family did not want to intubate and requested to try Ayurvedic management. Dr. Aswath Rao, who is a junior resident general surgery, Bengaluru Medical College, under the guidance of his parents, Dr. Ramesh and Dr. Shobha Rao, who are Ayurvedic doctors, as per request of the family and with permission from the hospital authorities, administered the Ayurvedic medicines. SpO2 normalized within 2 hours of starting the Ayurvedic treatment and then remained stable throughout. The liver function test, total blood count, CRP, and IL-6 that were elevated normalized within 5 days. All Ayurvedic medicines were stopped after 20 days. The patient became stable, and after the respiratory distress was managed, she completed her course of treatment in the hospital and was discharged. This case demonstrates the potential of Ayurveda to intervene in COVID-19 emergency as supportive care.
So we also have graphical abstracts. Here the cases can be looked at in the form of graphical abstracts. Graphical abstract is one of the ways in which scientific information is disseminated. So you can see all the cases are presented as graphical abstracts here. So this is how the graphical abstract will look. And as I was mentioning, those who do not want these audio-visual or ornamental presentation, then they can also look at it as a text narrative. Now we have some search options. This is search by biomedical diagnosis. So if you click this link, you can see all the cases in the database is listed with modern diagnosis, and then you can select by departments, or you can type a keyword and then that case will pop up and then you can go into the details. We also have a module to search by Ayurveda diagnosis. So here all the cases are listed in Ayurvedic terms, and you can search again by department, or you can filter by using keywords. We also have wild search option, where if you are not sure what you want to search, then you can do a wild search. You type any word, and if it is there in the database, then it will show up. And then we have the advanced search option, where you can have a more controlled search. You can search by title, you can search by abstract, search by patient information. So this whole database now allows you to interact in a very structured way and do some kind of data mining also. So this is just the overall summarized presentation. We have also immersive learning modules where you can have a deeper understanding. And these immersive learning modules are there, which is the core case repository. And here, when you enter the immersive learning module, you have abstract, details, timeline, tabulated summary, narrative, immersive learning, where again you see multimedia interactions. For lack of time, I'm not showing all this. Now we'll have a quick look at the immersive learning modules. So these are all the various cases, and if you click on one of the cases, it takes you inside. And here you can view the abstract. We can see the details in an interactive way. And a very important part of case report is actually a timeline. So after viewing the multimedia, you can also visualize the case as a timeline. And actually there is an inbuilt tool which will create timelines, which is a very useful, facility for especially people who want to publish case reports, spend a lot of time constructing these timelines. So we have an app inbuilt which can be used to create timelines. So there's also a tabulated summary. This is the core of the case report where all the technical details are presented. And we also enable, like this, the next part is very important, which is actually the narrative. The narrative is a first draft of a case report. So we make a first draft of a case report for the author. Now it is up to the clinician to convert that into a full-fledged, case report that could be published in any journal. So this also is all care compliant. So it's almost ready, now for the final editing, after which it can go into a research journal. So when we have a module for contributing clinicians, where all the contributing clinicians are listed here with their bio notes and all the cases treated by them. So this becomes a peer-reviewed way of, demonstrating clinical skills of the Ayurveda clinicians. And the panel of experts are helping us to very rigorously review these cases. And as I mentioned, only after 9 reviewers look at each case in a 3-stage peer review does this get accepted in AyurCeL. Now there's a lot of work that goes behind, so we have also a back-end administrative module where all the data management is done, and I'm just giving a sweeping overview of this module. We don't have time to go into the details, but this is very important because this is what is going to be making AyurCeL live long. All new cases can be captured using this backend module. Now we also have a timeline module. Timelines are very important in case reports, but it's a very cumbersome process to construct timelines. So we have created a module where if you enter all the data, into this app, then it will create automatically a timeline. And in future, we are planning to improvise this timeline by giving different color, themes and different shapes so that it will also look attractive. So this is how the timeline is created. Now to put things in perspective, it looks like the first published case report in the field of Ayurveda dates back to 1947. So in 75 years, in this Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, what we have achieved is published less than 300 case reports so far in the field of Ayurveda. And if you look at it from that perspective, AyurCeL has already 107 clinical cases, in just 2.5 years. And not just as case narratives, but all these multimedia interactive things. So we would like to point out that this shows that it is possible if we come together as a team. This is not just Amrita alone. It is because as a community we could reach out to the entire chain of successful Ayurvedic clinicians. And if we join hands, we could reach magical numbers, thousands, tens of thousands, and then millions of case reports. So this is a very elaborate process. If you want to submit a case to AyurCeL, then you can just ping us, and then there will be some initial checks. And actually sharing the data with us is very simple. You can even give a voice message in a WhatsApp or write an email or call us. So we've made it actually very easy for busy clinicians to transfer that information to our team, and our team will sit and do all the hard work and convert it into a very interactive portal. So we would like to invite all Ayurveda clinicians to come and enrich this initiative. So this is based on the Ayurvedic philosophy, Vina Tarkena Ya Siddhi Yadricha Siddhi Revasa. Our clinical outcomes, if you don't justify it with proper rationale and evidence, it's to be dismissed as accidental success. Also, as Charaka says, Bhishak Bhishaja Saka Sampasheda. One clinician must converse with another. We need to share our experiences. And AyurCeL is that portal. And we believe that approach to evidence building should begin with clinical practice outcomes. So most of the time, the biggest challenge today is that we are trying to build big edifices of evidence with no foundation. Unless we have very solid foundation of clinical evidence, no other research will actually, be fruitful. So in Ayurveda, we need a clinic to lab approach, not from bench to bedside, from bedside to bench. And so we believe that AyurCeL is that foundational work which will help us to build evidence in a more systematic manner. Now the next two modules are very brief. I will just run through that. The post-publication review. This is the first of its kind initiative in Ayurveda. After publication, doing a peer review. We all know about peer review before publication. But after publication, we have 3 reviewers looking at every published case report. And I want to point out, when it is published, so many reviewers may not have looked at it. And each case is checked in terms of care guidelines. We have converted the 30 items into 56 checklist, 56 item checklist. And 3 reviewers very carefully look at it, and I'll just show you how it works. So this is how cases are seen. When you open it, you can actually see the case report. View it as a PDF while you look at the assessment on the right side. On the right side, you can see the scores. They are based on the care guidelines. We converted into 56 items, and every case we see how much it complied, what were the drawbacks and shortcomings. And here, the public can also participate. So post-publication review is a continuous process. Pre-publication review stops at the point of publication. So this is because when you report clinical practice outcomes, there's always a question of bias. It's not based on control studies. So unless we do very strict peer review in a continuous manner, we cannot identify our gaps, and that is why this portal exists. And here also we have an elaborate backend. For want of time, I'm not going into it. This is a scoring system that you can see here, where 3 reviewers score it. They are able to check whether there was compliance. If they have a difference of opinion, the reviewers sit together and discuss and then come to a consensus. And still, if they have difference of opinion, that is listed on the portal as such. And then we invite participation from the public. So this is the back end, and there are many features here. So this is the whole process of the post-publication peer review. And the last module is Ayurveda Case Report Preprint Archive for fast-track publication of preprint versions. So this is also the first preprint server in the field of Ayurveda. Anybody who wants to publish a case report and cannot wait for months before it gets published in a journal, you can publish it here as a preprint and then still, get it published in a journal. So this is how the preprint server looks. It's a very simple interface where all the preprints are available. So now, the launch of AyurCeL portal has happened today, March 10. We have still not yet completed our project. It's still another 6-8 months before we complete it. So this is the launch of the beta version. And I'd like to announce that the full access to AyurCeL portal will be available on April 15th to the general public. You can still access it, but you will not be able to see all the features. But on April 15th, we have the full version available. And the AyurCeL public will be available on 15th October. I'd like to thank a lot of people from Amrita, and from the Ayurvedic community for making this initiative, reach where it has. And finally, nothing would have happened without the guiding light of Chancellor Amma. My prostrations at her lotus feet, and thank you for your patient listening.
Kudos to the community of clinicians, the Amrita School of Ayurveda and Amrita Create PIs for having managed an amazing platform. Thank you, Dr. Ramanoharji, for the developing and showcasing a portal that can probably change the dimension and scale of Ayurvedic practice within and beyond India. Before we break for tea, we have the privilege and we have our esteemed Amrita Vishwavidyapeetam's Vice Chancellor, Dr. Venkat Rangan, online with us because of his busy schedule from Coimbatore to present about the university.
Dr. P. Venkat Rangan is the Vice Chancellor of Amrita Vishwavidyapeetam. Dr. Rangan founded and directed the Multimedia Laboratory and Internet and Wireless Networks Research at the University of California, San Diego, where he served as a professor of computer science and engineering for 16 years. Dr. Rangan became one of the youngest faculty members to be awarded the full professor position at the University of California. Dr. Rangan has over 75 publications in international journals and conferences, and also holds over 20 US patents. He is an internationally recognized pioneer of research in multimedia systems and internet e-commerce.
Om Amriteshwari Namaha. Thank you very much. Are you able to hear me?
We do, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. Very warm greetings to all the distinguished guests who have gathered here today. In particular, we are extremely thankful to the Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Ayush, Sri Rajesh Kotecha, and the other distinguished guests as well, senior academic leaders of Amrita Vishwavidyapeetam, Director Swami Shankarananda Amrita Puri, and Research Director Dr. Ram Manohar, and all the other faculty, students who have gathered here today as part of this very exciting C20 deliberations under the overall leadership of our most beloved Amma. I am pleased to present an overview of Amrita Vishwavidyapeetam, the vision, which is emerging as a world-class university under the inspiration and leadership of world-renowned humanitarian leader, Sri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi Amma, to whom we bow down with total reverence. At a very quick glance, Amrita is a multidisciplinary university with over 100 departments, 182 programs, UG, PG, doctoral levels, entire spectrum of engineering, medical sciences, pure sciences, management, arts, humanities, social sciences, Ayurveda, as well as computer science and the emerging, exciting field of artificial intelligence as well. For a student strength of about 22,000, we have 2,000 faculty, among whom almost 800 hold PhD or equivalent degrees. And the programs, departments, and disciplines are spread across 6 beautiful campuses in 3 states. Very interesting that sandwiched between the Arabian Sea and the backwaters is Amritapuri, so it's all water. Then there are the industrial cities of Bangalore and Chennai, the lush green hillside campus in Coimbatore, it's all land, hills and greenery. The huge healthcare campus in Cochin and Mysore, and a smaller recent campus. This has expanded into Faridabad in Delhi, which now hosts one of the largest hospitals, not just nationally but globally, and expanding into Amaravati as the 8th campus. Next. Now, research at Amrita which has been entirely guided and directed at both the 10,000 foot level and at the detailed level by Amma herself, is interdisciplinary and innovative. We have identified highly impactful thematic areas and have gained significant insight into their challenges, in order to address which we have established more than 25 centers of excellence. Here are some examples. The overarching theme is nano bio info for human health and wisdom, as well as safety and sustainability of environment. Now the scientific outcomes, in terms of KPIs, have exceeded the expectations. They should, they must, and they will under Amma's guidance. Particularly the 4 Ps, papers have increased to more than 11,000 international journal papers, more than 100 patents granted, both internationally and nationally, and projects, 350 projects, more than 500 PhDs have been graduated. That much creative activity is going on. The momentum has picked up. At this juncture, it would be timely to mention our institutional distinctiveness. For us, culmination of all research, Amma has set it as ultimately societal benefit. And in fact, here at Amrita, Amma feels the pulse of the people every day, inspires us to take research all the way towards deployment as sustainable solutions for India's development, so that the research ultimately leads to uplifting the billions at the bottom of the pyramid and even saving lives through real-world deployments. In the healthcare, innovations have been taken from bench to bedside. In order to do so, next, there are more than 300 state-of-the-art scientific research laboratories that are continuously upgraded. Our faculty have excelled globally and have won numerous international awards, such as the UNESCO chairs in experiential learning, gender studies, consistently placed in the top 2% global scientists by Stanford University, the X Prize, and many more. The students also have been very vibrant, enthusiastic. They strive very hard to excel in their chosen fields, and their high levels of success in global competitions demonstrate their proficiencies are on par with some of the world's top universities. Now, coming to the future vision, I think we are at a point where we have the critical mass to take on grand challenges, for which we have started to forge global collaborations. Actually, international collaborations, as initiated by our Chancellor for the last 15 years, have had extremely good response, over 200 collaborations, so that together we can have a bigger impact by working together to solve some of the formidable challenges in healthcare. Particularly, these formidable challenges in healthcare that are keeping us awake past midnight, so to speak. Global health challenges, including emerging infectious diseases, population health, lifestyle diseases, including metabolic syndrome, and how to make progress in regenerative medicine with its ambitious goals of curing the incurable, accelerated self-repair, and healing from within, which are hallmarks of Ayurveda. In particular, we want to use, I think, popular communities, experts all over the world are turning towards Ayurveda to solve the human health miseries that have been evading solutions, keeping us all the time fearful of being a prey to them. So how can we effectively use this opportunity in Ayurveda to change the course of health of communities to well-being? These are big boulders in healthcare. We may not be able to get rid of the boulder, but may be able to break it up, maybe push it to the side through 4 warnings about the very heart of these worrisome rapids leading to a catastrophe, so that those kind of illnesses can be preempted. So the paradigm shift in health is how do we preempt the challenges instead of waiting for the challenge to occur and struggling to repair them. How do we preempt that? Almost all disciplines are joining forces to launch this final attack on the intractable diseases. The outcome is going to be a decisive one. The writing on the wall seems to point to a paradigm shift from a reactive treatment to a preventive lifestyle adjustments approach. Here is a triangle, foundations which are making rapid progress in other disciplines, which we in Ayurveda also have to embrace. Devices, delivery, devices, I think our Provost Manisha already talked about the non-invasive wearables. Data, devices, data and delivery. These are fundamental. Then building on the devices, data and delivery. Keep going down. 1 minute. We have intelligence, imaging and internet. Building on these 3 I's, we can develop predictive approaches, preventive approaches and precision health. Ultimately, this should result in a dashboard for each individual which shows how her health is doing. The physician should have his or her own dashboard. And towards this year has been extremely productive, fruitful year with major new initiatives globally between Amrita and world-renowned universities. In fact, we have Dr. Krish Satya Ramachandran from Harvard University, who is going to speak about the collaboration that has been initiated between our 2 universities. Recently, the University of California has instituted a major collaboration with us in the area of many areas of medicine, as well as in the area of empathy and compassion. Next. So coming to a conclusion, almost. Let's go down. Yeah. So if I were to reflect on the steep emergence of Amrita as a university, as a global center of learning in less than 20 years, I could come to these conclusions. Faculty have to work with inspired abandon and missionary zeal. The vision and mission should be lofty. The leader who instills inspiration, the most important, should be a role model. Students have to learn with interest and inquisitiveness, and the role model, the leader, is essential for the ordinary to become extraordinary. Students have to become future citizens in the comity of nations. Education for life is as important as education for living. They have to perceive and practice eternal human values of love, compassion, harmony, diversity, non-violence, etc. And faculty and students should crave for country's development. They should engage in regular service to feel the pulse and improve the billions at the bottom of the pyramid. And this service should be an integral part of each and every academic program. There must be coherence and synergy of the people. It should be brought out. Leader should build on each person's unique strength. People should be more important than bottom line. And the leader should see the same spark of life in all beings, irrespective of the standing. Finally, creativity and curiosity for higher levels of knowledge should become habitual thinking. Constant guidance from an enlightened being to light up the next step for researchers stuck at blind alleys is very important. So all of these here in Amrita flows from our Chancellor Rama, a world teacher, Jagat Guru, as we say in Sanskrit, guiding the university and all of us every step along the way towards that exalted state. The C20 and this meeting today is an excellent step towards this exalted goal and state under Rama's guidance. So I conclude by saying that to this world teacher and greatest master par excellence, I bow down in utter awe and reverence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing that vision and that very big picture that is Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham. You are also a constant support and our motivator. We appreciate you taking the time amidst your busy schedule and joining us. We will now break for tea and will gather back in 20 minutes to listen to our esteemed guests who are with us, and we'll have a very interesting session. So please have a nice cup of tea and join us back again in 20 minutes. Thank you.
The tea has been arranged outside the hall for everyone.
The social part was very satisfactory. Thank you for keeping the time and joining us back again. It's our request that we now request our Honorary Rajesh Kotechaji to join us along on stage. We also request Dr. Dio Pujariji, Dr. Upadhyaya, Dr. Tanuja Nesari to join us on stage. Alongside, let me also invite Swami Shankaramrita Puri, Dr. Ram Manohar, Dr. K.P. Nambudiri to join us on stage, please. Dr. Krish, please join us on stage as well. Thank you very much. Please take a seat. We are moving into a very exciting part of a set of talks and set of presentations, and we have our very esteemed panel of members here with us on stage. Dr. Nambudiri, could you also please join us on stage, please? Let me now invite Pujya Swami Shankaramrita Puri, Dean Amrita School of Ayurveda, to address the gathering. Thank you.
Swami Shankaramrita Puri is the director of Amrita School of Ayurveda. He is a senior disciple of Sadguru Sri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi. He is an Ayurvedic physician by profession with a postgraduate qualification in Kaya Chikitsa. Swamiji takes active participation in various missionary activities initiated by Mata Amritanandamayi Mutt. He has traveled to Germany, Switzerland, and Spain to promote Ayurveda and Indian philosophy. He is a teacher, physician, and scholar in Indian philosophy. Welcome, Swamiji.
ॐ विद्यानामन्तस्तिमिरमिहिरद्वीपनगरी जडानां चैतन्यस्तबकमकरन्दश्रुतिझरी दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंश्रामुररिपुवराहस्य भवती भवानि त्वं दासे मयि वितरदृष्टिं सुकरुणाम् इति स्तोतुं वाञ्छन् कथयति भवानि त्वमिति अहम् तदैव त्वं तस्मै दिशसि निजसायुज्यपदवीं मुकुन्दब्रह्मेन्द्रस्फुटमुकुटनीराजितपदाम् Om Amriteshwari Namaha. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of my Guru, Amma. My pranams to Sri Vaidya Rajesh Kotechaji, Sri Pujarji, and all the other dignitaries on the dais and of the dais. My humble prostrations unto all the eminent personalities present here and the students who are gathered over here. There is a very beautiful quotation in Ashtanga Hridaya. Ardra santanata tyaga kayavak chetasam dama swartha buddhi parartheshu paryaptamiti sadvratam. So he comprehends the sadvrata in one sentence. Swartha buddhi parartheshu. The same attitude that you have towards yourself should be there for others also. Suppose a doctor treats someone, a mother or a father, a woman or a sister. He must consider them as his own sister, his own brother, his own mother. As if he is seeing his own mother in the patient is to be the attitude of a doctor. So even ants and insects should be considered as your own self. Atmavat satatam pasyedapi kita pipilagam is the Vagbhatacharya's vision about a doctor. So the same idea is conveyed and practiced by Amma every minute, every day. she sees others as her own self and going on serving them. So every minute is spent for the welfare of the others. It is told in Ashtanga Hridaya that you should be a Pararadhana Panditaha. You must be an expert in treating others. Janasya ashayam alakshayo yatha paritushyati tam tathaiva anuvarteta pararadhana panditaha, it is told. You imbibe them completely, you understand them completely, emotionally, spiritually, their sufferings, their happiness. Every moment, when Nama sees someone else, that moment is dedicated to the whole of that person. So that is being practiced by Amma. So this is the attitude that everyone must possess. Narayana Seva, especially the medical people, Nara Seva is Narayana Seva. The doctor is considered as a Narayana Swarupa, is considered as a god. If we do not see others, that empathy, if it is not there, we are not actually practicing Ayurveda. So that is the policy of our university also, which was explained very well by all the previous eminent speakers, that compassion-driven research, compassion-driven education, education for living, education for life, all these things were explained. Parajana Sukham Santa Sukhamennu Tonda Mama sings in her own bhajans. So the research in our university is also aimed at compassion-driven. So every research we do is to be translated into a product to the society. So we are on the verge, we have actually completed one of the projects, and the other one is going to be completed in a few months of time, three or 4 months of time. The Ayurveda team has been working very hard, and the other project teams also have worked without any selfish motives. They have combined together very nicely. For the past 2 years, we had been doing this. Initially, I was very hesitant because our team was, except Dr. Ram Manohar, others are slightly juniors in the projects and doing the projects. But because of our hard work and unselfish attitude and a combination of so many skilled persons around us, the portals have come out very well, as you have witnessed a few half an hour before. We have handled the project in a very careful manner. Every penny, every rupee has been sent carefully, responsibly towards the cause of the project. And this was the main, I think this is the main reason. Yes, beyond everything, Amma's continuous inspiration, her presence, and to say it nicely, we have a great fear. We have a high reputation. We have to meet that. We have to always face that challenge of keeping our university's reputation correctly. So that challenge was also there. I was fortunate to be involved in these projects, and I'm extremely proud and happy with the outcomes of these projects. With these portals, you could have witnessed that it's very friendly, user-friendly, and we can easily comprehend the subject with the help of a simple laptop or a cell phone. A lot of good videos, chantings of important chapters, preprint publications, post-publication reviews, clinical documentations, and many more, as you have witnessed now, are there, are the attractive features of this project. This is a ready reference even during the traveling. They look pretty simple, but it's not as simple as they look. A lot of hard work has been put to make it easy and comprehensible to a simple student, not a student of a highest class. So the entire team of these projects, the eMAP team as well as the Panchakarma team, led by Dr. Parameshwar Nambudiri and Dr. Ram Manohar, I have to congratulate them at this juncture. My heartfelt thanks for their. I did not have to inspire them. I did not have to speak to them much. Especially, only pointing out here, the mistakes here and there. Otherwise, the entire team has been working very hard through the inspiration of Amma. And the AOC has been pretty helpful for us. Anything you ask them, they were ready to help us and serve us. The team for Amrita Create, students also have contributed a lot. And all the chantings that we heard now are done by the students. So my hearty congratulations to all of them. There is no monetary benefit for them. It is inspiration to Ayurveda made them do that. The Amrita TV also has contributed to this. The multimedia presentations are done by them. And there are many more videographers, and there are many more who have contributed towards this project. I sincerely express my sincere appreciation to all these selfless, dedicated staff members. We wish to continue these projects, as Dr. Ramanu had told, there are 100 clinical cases documented now. We really wish to make it into 1,000. And he was going beyond that also, millions. So let us see where we are able to move from here. But as a head of the institution, I will extend my fullest support and we will try to achieve his ambition to maybe in the next meeting we will have 1,000 cases, maybe in the meeting after that we will have 10,000 cases, for which my support alone will not do, your support is required. So may all these portals reach all those who are interested to learn Ayurveda. I wish and pray that more similar projects come up and serve the community. May all be benefited by our efforts, our selfless efforts. That is why we are living with Amma. So every bit of our energy will be spent for the society. So I hope and wish that it will benefit the whole universe. Nagarjuna said, Siddhera Segarashami Nirdardryam idam jagati. Give me some mercury, I will make the whole world prosperous. So maybe Amma's vision, Amma's help, Amma's sankalpa will make that happen. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Swamiji. It was a very kind of you to indicate without any focus into your leadership and focus of projects that has helped us reshape what is eMAP and AyurCeL today. I remind all of us here that we are still live online, and there are quite a large number of participants also watching us on the YouTube and on Zoom. It is that moment that we have been waiting for. Let me invite Padma Shri awardee and Honorable Secretary of Ayush, Vaidya Rajesh Kotejaji, to address at this Amrita Samarpanam.
Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha was appointed as the Secretary of Ministry of Ayush since July 2017. He is also the former Vice Chancellor of Gujarat Ayurveda University, Jamnagar. He is the founder of Chakrapani Ayurveda Clinic and Research Center in Jaipur. Sir also have several prestigious awards to his credit, namely Ayurveda Ratna Award in 2008, the Padma Shri Award for Medicine in 2015, and Ayurveda Physician Award, and many more. We welcome you, sir.
My pranams to the Holy Feet of Ammaji, and my pranams to all of you, respected Swamiji, my colleagues on the stage, the Chairman, National Commission of Indian Medicine, Professor Dr. Dev Pujari ji, the Director of Holiday Institute of Ayurveda, Tanuja Nesri ji, the Advisor to Government of India of Ayurveda, Dr. Kaustubh Upadhyay ji, Dr. Ram Manohar ji, Dr. Krish, and all dignitaries, all invited guests. I also acknowledge the participation of the different associations like All India Ayurveda Practitioners Association, the Kerala Government Medical Officers Association, the Vigyana Bharati, World Ayurveda Foundation, Arogya Bharati, Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad, and so many other organizations. First of all, let me compliment the Amrita Vishwavidyalayam, also the Honorable Vice Chancellor, and the entire team of Amrita School of Ayurveda, led by Honorable Swamiji, for this great contribution to the country and to the sector. So my compliments, please. This event is also a part of C20 event, and we have a lot of deliberations before in the first session of this event, where we all are appraised about the C20 events and then working groups and about the integrative health group, which is which was presented by Dr. Priyaji. Dr. Priyaji rightly said, actually I was impressed by her saying that usually the modern medicine fraternity, they think that with having little superiority complex, and we all face this, but and I was discussing Dr. Krish, and he was curious, what do you think about that and how to make bridge of this. And so my reply was very simple, that without looking at this and that, we should just work continuously for the health of the people with all the compassion, and that delivers, that happens. And so, and then it eliminates all the the component of competition or ego issue or so on and so forth. So let's work together. Let's work for the people. Let's work for the health of the people, and that is what at this university is happening. Is a live example how compassion to the community converts into the best of the institutions, and taking out with best HR, best students, best faculties, and best university. So that is the outcome in very short period of time. So that is all best. The holistic patient-centered approach, actually it is the key. So whenever we look for anything, if we have that approach, it delivers. So we do not only look for the individual as a physical existence and look for the fragmented solutions, but look for a total care in total. And care in total actually is less invasive in general, and of course affordable, and having very high outcome, very high patient outcome. So you take any model, everywhere this is the when you look at the KPI, this is the KPI. So individual patient-centric approach is usually not being understood rightly. So whenever we talk to the best scientists on the earth, they are trained to think in the direction of very analytical approach, looking at fragmentation of every small thing to the molecules. So whenever we talk about drug development, they think in the terms of molecules. It is hard to convey that molecule is not the only way of the drug development. There are so many other ways. But things are moving into the different direction across the globe. And just to mention some interesting facts, that majority of these health supplements and alternative care model of health is not supported by insurance sector. When people are largely paying by their pocket, still, as compared to the the conventional medicine market, pharma market, the natural product market is almost 70%. So it is evolving. In next 10 years, probably it will match. And there is a lot of there are a lot of things happening. I want to cite some interesting examples that I was talking to Dr. Krish, that in India, we have a study of the sector of Ayush market in 2014 of CII study. There were two studies, Ved and Goyera studies and CII study, both based on 2014 data sets. And it said that the market size, total size of the manufacturing sector of Ayush was $3 billion at that time, roughly 21,000 crore rupee. And so when I joined office in 2017, we all were excited that by 2022, we should take this 3 billion to 10 billion. So in 5 years, we'll take it to 10 billion. And we were working on that direction. So in 2020, we have initiated a study on 21 based on 2020 statistics. This study was also done by a third party, RIS, Research and Information System, which is a policy body, autonomous body of Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. So that study, when it came out, we were all surprised that this study said that as compared to 2014, in 2020, the sector grew by 6 times in 7 years. So it became $18 billion. So 3 billion to 18 billion, 140,000 crore is not a joke. So we were curious to see what is happening in the service sector, because service sector also was largely compromised due to COVID. There was 2 years of nothing doing because of lot of restrictions. So we have initiated a study in service sector, and recently the mid-term analysis came out. The full study is going on, and the report will come out by the end of this year. But this interim analysis says that service sector size is also roughly 150,000 crore rupee, which is 24 billion USD. So together, this manufacturing and service total sector, including exports, is 350,000 lakh crore rupee. So it's not small. Together, it is touching $50 billion, which is almost equivalent to the pharma size of our country. So why I am mentioning this specifically for the students who is sitting in the backside of this hall, that future is so bright. We have to capitalize. We have to capture this by keeping our insights bigger, looking at big things, and not indulging into small arguments and quarrels. So if we are engaged into these small quarrels, this morning I was talking to some group of doctors, and they were very angry. There in some part of Kerala, some couple of doctors are defaming Ayurveda constantly. So I said that what mistake we are doing is reacting to that. Why we should react? We should keep our line longer. We should invite those people to come to our centers like Amrita Hospital or All India Institute of Ayurveda Hospital or some other hospital, and tell those persons to see by themselves. We should not react. So in place of engaging to such types of quarrels, we should make sure that we think big, our line is longer and bigger, and then we deliver. At the end, we should be compassionate to the patient, like Swamiji said. When Swamiji was mentioning about that, I was thinking about this one conversation between Swami Vivekananda and his guru, Sri Ramakrishna ji. So, in his conversation, Swami Vivekananda ji was curious that said that, Swamiji, you always mention Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu. So we have to evolve in such a way that whatever other Atma is there and our Atma is there, we have connection. Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu. So how to analyze this? How to experience this? So how this happens? Because we are different. We have different existence. How our Atmas are connected? So Swamiji smiled at him, the Guru, Ramakrishna ji, and told nothing. After some days there was raining, and it was cold days and suddenly rain started, and so Swamiji suddenly got up from his bed, took a blanket in his hand and started running in the rains. So Swami Vivekananda was only there with him, so he also started running behind him, what Guruji is doing. So the Guruji ran to the end of the village, that small, it was a small, it was end of this community places, and there was a small hut leaking from the top roof, and there was a lady, an old lady, shivering with the cold, and because of the rain she was wet. So the Guruji just went there and put a blanket on her body and then came back. So Vivekananda ji was surprised how Guruji came to know about that. So he was behind Guruji. He said, "Tell me how you came to know. You did some magic." He said, "No, nothing magic. It is Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu." So I felt the pain sitting there. This is the practice of Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu. So we all should actually try to practice this. If there is a pain in patient's eyes, we should feel that. And that makes us a compassionate physician, and that makes us, capable to look at holistically and deliver. That is the difference of this Eastern thinking and Western thinking. So we should all look at those possibilities of delivering, and it's not just economy, it is not the size of the sector, but it is all what Ayurveda can deliver to the rest of the world. And I must compliment about this technological development. I want to cite some interesting examples that in 2017 we have started a big initiative of Ayush Grid in Government of India with a vision to create IT-based solutions for everything about Ayush, be it education or research or regulatory affairs or whatever. And in 5 years, we were able to create standalone 22 such solutions, and were able to have one of the best solution is AHIMS, Ayush Health Information Management System, and it is now tested on more than 5 million patients, and it is standardized now, security is done. Now we are ready to launch it, and then disseminate free of cost to all the practitioners and hospitals of the country and the world. This particular IT-based solution is also having the capability of creating the outcome parameters. So what happened if a patient of diabetes came, what happened? So Ram Manohar ji always speaks about large-scale observation data, and that could be one of the mode of evidence generation. When we talk about evidence generation, we should think also all round. So we don't have to just depend upon the gold standard study. That is what our counterpart says. You should do gold standard. Other than gold standard, nothing is research. We should not believe in them. We should do all types of evidence generation, including observational studies, including large-scale cohorts, including prospective studies, including retrospective studies, whatever, including all preclinical, all mechanistic studies, and large-scale clinical studies. So everything should be done to generate evidences. So we have wonderful experience during COVID, that including the participation of Amrita University, we have a lot of universities onboarded, we have a lot of medical colleges onboarded, and Government of India was able to start and initiate more than 160 studies in no time, 160 plus studies, all different designs, all docking studies, preclinical studies, in vivo studies, in vitro studies, large-scale observation studies, large-scale multi-center clinical trials, everything on different candidates or different modalities or different advisories. So at the end, we were able to establish and repurpose at least 2 medicines in 10 months' time. And these medicines also have delivered. And there is a great publication how this medicine has helped the community during COVID. So evidence generation is the key. Our Honorable Prime Minister has mentioned it at several occasions. Recently in Goa, when he came for the valedictory function of World Ayurveda Congress. After that, in Mann Ki Baat, just last week, when he was speaking about these post-budget webinars on health, he specifically mentioned that for Ayurveda and Yoga, I want to mention that we need to work on evidence generation. And he added that all of us, means all health stakeholders to do it, but he specifically mentioned, I want to convey my friends who is participating in this webinar from Ayurveda and Yoga should look into this. So Prime Minister is repeatedly suggesting us which is the way forward for the country. And these solutions of Ayush Grid actually is providing us vehicle, like this Panchkarma, this eMAP. So this eMAP module is just wonderful, and that also helps us to standardize. Because when you, I also face these questions, that when you go to the North India, in Uttarakhand, Panchkarma is being practiced differently. In Kerala it is different, in Andhra Pradesh it is different. So people ask me, not as a regulator, but as a practitioner, as an expert of this domain, they ask me that, आपके वहाँ कुछ स्टैंडर्ड तो है नहीं, सब अपनी मन मर्जी से करते हैं, like that. But then my reply is also very, it's not just to counter them, but it is a real reply that, for a water to be, to alive, where the fish can grow, is only when water can flow. So flowing the water is the principle. So a science can be practiced from different perspective, but the original principles remain the same. And that is the beauty. So I put an example also. I will stay with my time allotted, so I will not speak more. So there is example that when you look at the ICD-11, and there is another classification of the diseases, American classification. What is this called, Ram Manoharji? There is a separate classification. Huh? So Snowmed City is actually a different, but in US there is another classification of the disease other than Snowmed City, but I forgot the exact name of that. We don't argue about that, but there is a separate classification. So ICD is a classification of WHO. So if you look at this classification, any morbidity code, any code, you example, you take anxiety states. So for anxiety states, there is a different DSM classification. This is it, a statistical manual classification. So this DSM classification is followed by and created by NIH, and this ICD classification is created by WHO. So you take any morbidity code, there is a different definition of that particular disease condition. It do not mean that science is wrong. The same argument can be applied there, that if a doctor trained in DSM classification, they have different morbidity code for the same clinical condition than the person trained into ICD morbidity code. So it do not mean that science is wrong, it's a practice. So that way practice can be different. But I am happy that this module is helping us to have some kind of coherence. But it is always good to have different practices. Why not? If human beings are different, if there are different geographical conditions, if there are different climatic conditions, why not the practice can be different? It is not required that everything is standardized. Otherwise it becomes very monotonous, and it do not actually deliver. So there was another experience that long back, before I went as a vice chancellor, I was in Jaipur and I was invited for a lecture on Ayurveda to the world's best CEOs who were visiting India, and the then government decided to showcase some Indian things, knowledge systems to them. So they came to Jaipur and they were all invited for the, looking at investment opportunities in India. So both, I will not name, but best CEOs, including Microsoft and all those. So I was talking high about Ayurveda, and I had a good presentation about the principles, Panchamahabhut and Tridosh and Prakriti, what we do. When Ram Manoharji also travels, he talks about that. And they were all impressed, and they were good applause. And then one of the CEO raised a question, and I could see that his question was little offending. He wanted to make me realize that आप बड़ी बड़ी बातें करते हो, reality is not right. So he mentioned that how many percentage the population of India is taking allopathic medicine, and how many percent of people are using Ayurveda in hospitals. So I replied humbly that when we look at Ayurveda as a system of medicine, the things are not correct. It's not just system of medicine, it's a system of health. It is being practiced in all round corner of the life, including our dietetics, including our lifestyle, including our seasonal behavior, including our daily behavior. And whether we know Ayurveda, we don't know Ayurveda, we practice it. So from that perspective, 95% Indian population is practicing Ayurveda. But when we go to the hospital, probably 10%, 15% patients are going to Ayurveda, and remaining are going to the allopathic hospitals, which is okay. But it's not just medical science. So that were appreciated by them. They were open for that particular comment. I also have one simple, humble submission, that these efforts needs, continuous running, like eMAP solution, like AyurCeL solution. So these solutions should be supported, for continuation, AyurCeL solution. So I would like to humbly suggest that, Government of India is willing to support this initiative for years to come, so that it is sustainable. The dream of Ram Manohar ji, that to make it like 1,000 cases, it is possible. So I want to suggest humbly a vehicle for that, that our RAV director is sitting here, and on 16th they have a convocation, 16th of this month, just less than 1 week. And I would suggest that maybe we can have an MOU with Amrita University with specific target, that in RAV they have a scheme where they send students of Ayurveda graduates to the practitioners, and these practitioners stays with the practitioner. These students stays with the practitioner for an entire year, and then learn the clinical skills. So I would request RAV to consider making this provision of at least 5 cases for each student, for each practitioner. So 350 cases is possible for this AyurCeL. And I will also request my colleague and the regulator, is not colleague, is regulator, is a big boss, Dev Pujari ji. Actually, there is a difference. I want to mention this difference is that the regulator is not the government. So they are the regulators empowered by the Act of Parliament. So there is a misconception that they are also Ministry of Ayush. No, they are not Ministry of Ayush. They are National Commission for Indian Medicine, empowered by the Act of the Parliament and having an independent identity. So Chairman of National Commission, Professor Dr. Dev Pujari ji is here. I would request him that there is 450 plus colleges. So maybe we can disseminate this information and then make at least request them to consider in clinical departments to create some lot of case studies and then report here, so that this becomes a big resource for the learners, for the public, for the practitioners. One more thing that I want to mention is wonderful opportunity that we have Director Holiday Institute of Ayurveda is sitting here. They are having an index journal on Ayur case reports already there. So there is a vehicle of translating from this effort to the publication. So I would request Ram Manohar ji and Tanuja ji sit together and create an ecosystem for that. Also, Priya ji mentioned about the possibility of the C20 event at Faridabad in the month of April, and we will be really happy to participate from our All India Institute of Ayurveda as a co-partner or whatever you wish us to be there. And we also will be very happy to host the participants for the visit of All India Institute of Ayurveda. It's a wonderful institute, and it is worth seeing. If you happen to come to Delhi, please visit this. This is an institute par excellence, and lot of big VIPs are coming there for the treatment, including central ministers, parliamentarians, all different leaders of different community, different corners of the community, and it's worth showcasing, and it is really delivering. Just to mention that it is established by and inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister in 2017, October. So in 5 years, they have seen 1.6 million patients. And in 5 years, they have 1,200 publications, 1,600 publications, 1,600 publications. So this is also one of the interesting thing that, and before I close, there are two regulatory things which is available to implement such innovative things. One is National Health Policy 2017, which talks about integrative health, implementation in public health, and that is happening across the country. All these Ayushman Bharat Yojana, all health and wellness centers have component of Ayush and Yoga. There are 12,500 standalone Ayush health and wellness center also being erected, 9,000 already done. And another vehicle is the National Education Policy 2020, where a lot of new innovative education modalities are being prescribed or suggested. And I am happy to share that both the commissions, National Commission of Indian Medicine and National Commission of Homeopathy, they have already aligned their new regulations with the National Education Policy. So a lot of things are happening in the area of National Education Policy and the implementation of National Education Policy in the sector of Ayurveda education and other Ayush education. There is a wonderful thing, because in last few years you all may have experienced a lot of transparency and quality improvements are happening into the education, and that is largely, credit goes to both the leaders of both the commissions, and I must compliment them. We are envisaging the Amrit Kal. In 2047 we will be entering into 100 years. So these 25 years our Prime Minister says Amrit Kal. So in Amrit Kal we all should come together. We have to visualize Vision 2047, and our Prime Minister already mentioned about that this could be a golden period of traditional medicine. So we have to capitalize this. And already a lot of things are happening to make this happen. One of the interesting and important thing happened is recent launch of WHO Global Center for Traditional Medicine in India. That is very important because this is one and only global center for traditional medicine across the globe. It will be in India, alongside instead of teaching and research in Ayurveda Jamnagar, just right alongside there. And we have a big opportunity to participate and to get our systems mainstreamed across the world through this platform. And it is also important that in any UN agency, including WHO or UNICEF, there are a lot of UN agencies, none of these UN agencies have any office, any outpost in any developing country until recently. This is the first of its kind. So that is the beauty, and Government of India has committed the support, full support to get this center done. So thank you so much for listening to me, and I reiterate all the needed support for such innovative things, and I compliment once again with my pranams to Ammaji. Because of her devotion and her continuous efforts and her blessings, all these things are happening. Thank you so much and pranams.
Padma Shri Rajesh Kotecha ji, thank you for honoring us with your time and presence. We thank you for the kind yet crucially useful suggestions you mentioned. Definitely Honorary Prime Minister Modi ji's initiatives as well. Through your talk, we got a glimpse of how you are transforming the perception of health in Ayurveda, and we agree that we need an emphasis that students need to reinterpret our manufacturing, service, and other sectors while keeping their goals loftier and diving into bigger things. Your anecdotes are worthy examples for many of us. Thank you, sir, once again. May I request Pujya Swami Shankaramrita Puri ji to felicitate Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha ji. Thank you, Honorable Rajesh Kotecha ji and Swamiji. Let me now take the pleasure of inviting our guest of honor, Vaidya Jayant Diyo Pujari ji, to stage to address the gathering.
Vaidya Jayant Dev Pujari ji. He is currently serving as a chairperson, National Commission of Indian Medicine, Government of India. He is the member of Advisory Committee, Ministry of Ayush, New Delhi. He is a member, Ayurveda Training Accreditation Board, Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapeeth, and is the member in the Society of NIA Jaipur. Previously, Sir was the chairman of the Board of Governors CCIM and a recognized guru at the RAV, and he's a very experienced Ayurvedic practitioner with an n number of publications and patents to his credit and a series of monographs, speeches, and lectures. We are honored to have you here, sir. Welcome, sir.
My humble pranam to everybody. परमादरणीय स्वामी जी, समादरणीय वैद्य राजेश कोटेचा जी, the other dignitaries, Professor Vaidya Tanuja Nesri ji, Kaustuv Upadhyay ji, Dr. Chris, Ram Manohar ji, the dignitaries of the dais, all senior faculties of Amrita, the representatives of different organizations, and my dear students. I should start with Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. That should be the aim of our life. Because we are physicians, we are chikitsak, we are treating people. So that should be the aim of or motto of our life. At the outset, I congratulate Ram Manohar ji and his team for creating such a wonderful portal which is useful for the students as well as the practitioners. Ayurveda remained contemporary for centuries together, not only years together. And still it is contemporary. It is very clear from this portal that this is the, you can say, contemporariness of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a flow, dhara. So that's why the Shastras like Ayurveda, they never become historical. I am reluctant to use word traditional also, because Ayurveda is like a river. For a point of place or a time, the river is always contemporary. there could not be a historical river or traditional river. River is river. At present, it is a river. So, I think this is what we should understand. So, it doesn't, it is not very difficult for all of us to get aligned with the present technology, present development, etc. But at the same time, I want to bring to your notice, particularly to the children, that with the flow of time and development of technology, the time for change is reducing. So we'll take an example of the all industrial revolutions, they are basically technology revolutions. So the first industrial or technology revolution started at the end of 18th century. That is mechanization. Then the second revolution, industrial revolution, started in the beginning, at the end of 20th century, start of the 20th century, that is 100 years. Then third revolution or technology revolution, you can say, started in 1970, that is automation. And now, after just 50 years, so for the first batch of scientists, they got 100 years, then 70 years, now 50 years, and for your generation, I don't know, that time may reduce. So we have to run after that. So this time of change is reducing, so we must keep it updated. And now, at present, there is a, you can say, technological revolution, which is based on cyber physical systems. So we must be aware about this, what is happening around the world and what is happening in our field. That is the duty of the coming generation. One thing I made happy during this presentation is I was looking at the team, and it started from Swamiji and ended with a very young fellow. So, it is sure that for such type of projects in Amrita, that legacy will remain. आगे भी ये काम चलते रहेगा, इसके बारे में कोई दो राय नहीं है. This is a very fantastic thing, and this should actually happen. Another thing here, we are repeatedly talking about the research. Previously, the research was for gaining knowledge, but now it is a tool for progress. So we must understand the difference between the two. In olden days, our Rishis, Munis, and even in recent, in 70s and 18th century, even by the Einstein, the whole research was for the quest of the knowledge. But now, our tagline is Anusandhanena Abhyudaya, progress through research. So it is a tool for progress. So this difference we must understand, particularly students. When we talk about research, another component we must always understand, particularly the teachers who are present over here, is the research starts with questioning, and questioning starts with curiosity. Unfortunately, in today's education system, we are training it everywhere, even in allopathy, even in whatever the system is. We are training our people, our student, how to use the research, not how to do the research. So we are training them, we are skilling them in using different type of machines, different type of technologies, different type of tools. But my question is whether we are training our student to ask questions, to develop curiosity. Because this Prashnopanishad must start from our college, our classroom. So our teaching must be open for this questioning. And I think this is basically a lacking. That's why we made some changes in our regulation. Those who are teachers, they must be well aware of this. We made total teaching hours into two parts. One lectures, that is didactic teaching, and other non-lectures. Non-lecture includes everything. Clinics, practicals, group discussions, small project, and whatnot. There are many things in that. It is in the regulation. And we made the proportion of lecture to non-lecture 1:2. That is, if you teach a subject for 1 hour in your classroom, you have to teach the student how to use that knowledge or information in our day-to-day practice for examining the patient. So this is for me, this is a very fundamental change in the education of Ayurveda, and we must look into it. Actually, when we look into the old Gurukula system of Ayurveda, actually it starts with internship. And that student used to sit, or he used to stand at the side of his guru. He used to see the patients, and gradually then, if you see the structure of our Samhitas, then it starts with the Sutrasthanam. In Sutrasthanam, lot of information regarding whole of Ayurveda. Then Nidanstan, then Vimanstan, then Sharirsthan, then like that Chikitsastan, Siddhistan, you know the structure. So there was a progressive unfoldment of knowledge. Now, in the new system, what we are doing is we have created it ladder. 10वीं के बाद 12वीं, 12वीं के बाद first year के बाद second year, graduation, post graduation, like that. So this is basically a very fundamental change which is hampering the Indian thought process. Another thing which we observed, we didn't found any solution for that, but it is an observation because I am a practitioner, and somehow I became a regulator, I don't know how. But what my observation is, the spiritual component is has been lost in this Ayurveda education. In Samhitas we talk about Atma, Samhitas we talk about Man, Samhitas we talk about, Swamiji quoted so many shlokas from Ashtanga Hridaya. But that is not in our practice. There is a problem of ethics, very, very big problem. Not only in allopathy, it is in Ayurveda. Because our profession is gradually turning to a business. So with this, then what in Samhita it is told that putravat acharet. A physician should behave with his patient as if he is his son or a daughter. So what does it mean ethically? It means when you are sending your son or your daughter for an investigation, you cannot ask for a cut. Very simple. You cannot decide the target. From this patient, you have to get this much of thing. This ethical part also we should not lose in our education and in our practice. And what I personally think is the institutions like Amrita, where we may not have that component in the curriculum, but it is there in this ecosystem of this institution, of this university. So the students of Amrita, or the institutions like Amrita, they are very fortunate that they have such type of, you can say, spiritual ecosystem and ethical ecosystem. And there is no doubt that it will help in a long way in their life, as in their career. That is what I personally feel. Regarding these portals, I have a humble request to our Ram Manoharji. Can you bring it into other languages? Because we have that problem also. And as per new education policy, the teaching should be in the mother tongue. So in any case, English is not our mother tongue, not of the Christians also. So my request is, if we can bring this portal of Panchakarma, for practitioner it is all right, they can have that. So then it will be much more useful than what is indicated. And we can also disseminate this information at the grassroots level. And if it happens, then nothing like that. It will help a lot to the sector at large in Ayurveda. Similar thing can be prepared regarding Rasa Shastra also, regarding Dravya Gun also. Because wherever there are skills, there are procedures. All these systems, they are very useful, even for the Swasthavritta. So even for the Shalya, even for the Shalakya. But these are based on more skills, Shalya, Shalakya and Prasuti, etc. But basic things, yes, we can do it. So once again, congratulations to Ram Manoharji and his team, and thank you to the organizers for inviting me and to have an intellectual presentation of this system. Thank you very much, and my pranam to at the feet of Amma. Namaskar, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Vaidya Jayant Pujari ji. Time to change oneself is indeed reducing, and your reminder that we need to keep updated is the need of the hour. This and the next generations may need such tools, such as cyber-physical systems that you mentioned, to make that happen. We are deeply indebted that you had reminded our students progress through research is vital, and that asking right questions must start from within our institutions. Thank you, sir. May I request Dr. Srijat Karta, Professor in HOD, Department of Kayachikitsa, to felicitate Vaidya Pujari ji, and please. Thank you, Dr. Vaidya Jayant Pujari ji and Dr. Karta. It is my honor now to invite Dr. Kaustuv Upadhyaya ji to address the gathering.
Dr. Kaustuv Upadhyaya is the advisor of Ministry of Ayush and director of Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapith, New Delhi. Sir also served in various positions as medical officer, senior medical officer, chief medical officer in central government health scheme. He is in a position to address the issues related to Ayush drug industry, Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940 and rules thereunder for ASU and H drugs, Ayush Aushadhi Gunvatta Evam Utpadan Samvardhan Yojana, extramural research and many more. Welcome, sir.
पद्मासन स्थिते देवी परब्रह्म स्वरूपिणी परमेष्ठी जगन्मातर महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते. My pranam to Lotus feet of Mata Amritanandamayi Amma, respected Pujya Swamiji, Director, Ayurveda School of Ayurveda, Amrita Vidyapith, Vaidya Padmashri Rajesh Kotecha ji, Secretary, Ministry of Ayush, our Dr. Vaidya Jayandev Pujari ji, Chairman, NCISM, Vaidya Tanujan SC ji, Director, All India Institute of Ayurveda, Dr. Krish, Dr. Ram Manohar, Dr. Namboothri, and all dignitaries of the dais and my dear friends. Today, I am very happy that Amrita Institute is able to complete its task of creating these two portals, two apps, within a given time frame. Before coming to this program, I just checked what are the projects and what is the sanction given. It was in the month of January 29, 2021. This project has been sanctioned for eMAP, and another is in first week of February 2021. It was during those days when country has been affected by COVID-19. And it was actually project of Ayurveda in the Ministry of Ayush, where one of the component is CME. That CME component is facilitated by Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapit. It is the ministry's project which is run through Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapit. And our schemes are tuned to cater routine requirement of CME, ROTP, etc. But during COVID-19, it was a challenge. How to conduct ROTP when you are not about to go out of the house? So at that time, Dr. Ram Manohar has sent this proposal. I got all this information because I was not in the ministry at that time. And he sent a proposal, and it was going through all the sections of the ministry, because it is not fitting into any of the schemes which are at present at that time in the Government of India schemes. So our respected secretary is foresight you are all aware of now. He expressed his displeasure to our RAV director, then RAV director. See, this is the thing which has to be done at the time. This is the challenge. Challenge has to be converted into an opportunity. That is the guidance given by the Honorable Prime Minister, and our secretary used to tell all these things. And because of COVID-19 challenge, this change of the format of education and continuing medical education has been proposed by Ram Manohar, and our secretary has insisted that we have to fine-tune our schemes, and then that thought has been initiated, and it was remoduled, scheme was remoduled, and this was given an opportunity. And I'm very happy that within the given time frame of 2 years, Dr. Ram Manohar and Dr. Nambudri, they were able to complete this and present this before all of us. It's a wonderful thing, and we have to continue this thing in all other schemes also. One more issue, this CMAP. I remember when I just eMAP up, when I have seen here, I recalled my association with your principal, Dr. Ramesh. We were in Koppa during 96, 97. I was hardly about 10 months in that college, and we had a workshop on Panchakarma. I was a young graduate who joined the college at that time, and he was also a young graduate who was working as RMO. You are still young. Okay. So, the same workshop, now it has come in the module. I had an opportunity to interact with him after long gap of 27 years here, and in this forum, through eMAP. So, it's a recollection of the past. Second, this eMAP is having potential to be integrated with our MVT portal, Medical Value Travel Portal. Government of India is launching one MVT portal to facilitate medical value travel across the world. People from all of the world, they are coming to India for having medical facilities where both allopathic, Ayurvedic, yoga, everything will be included. So in that portal, we have to put what is the potential of Ayurveda. So we were actually struggling hard to put what materials. But it is handy. When I have seen CMAP app, it is very handy that we can integrate that directly with MVT portal. And one of the main outcome that was designed for this program was to integrate with Digital India, Ayush Grid, and all our government programs. So it is an open source medium, and I request Ram Manohar to collaborate with us and integrate this with our MVT portal also. Second, AyurCeL. Already our secretary sir has told that it has to be integrated with our RAV program also. RAV is conducting this Guru Shishya Parampara, where every student will be sent to best practitioners recognized as RAV Guru across the country. And they will be staying with gurus for almost 1 year, and they will be learning with patient interactions throughout the day. And every week they will submit one case report. It's already going on. It's not a new thing, it's already going on, but it is in a manual thing, and there is no system to streamline all these case reports which are submitted by the students. Similar interactions has happened in Goa, Guru Shishya Meet in Goa as a parallel session. And there also we have presented, all our gurus presented wonderful cases in their experiences. And there Dr. Gangadhar has proposed there should be some format for presenting cases for all the students and scholars so that it should be accepted internationally. So this has given a very good platform for presenting the cases, and this should become a habit of all our practitioners and institutions. So I welcome Dr. Ram Manohar and Director Amrita Institute for the convocation program in the Vignan Bhavan, Delhi on 16th of this month, and have an MOU with us so that all our case presentation shall be in the similar format and it can be taken into the next stage. So one more remembrance I am having with this institute. I heard about Dr. Amma ji when I had an opportunity to work in Kochi airport for 1 month during Ebola outbreak in 2015 or 16, I think. So we had used to screen all the passengers coming from the African countries, especially African countries. And we used to receive lot of visitors coming to Kochi for taking treatment in the Amma's Medical Institute. So that is the first introduction for me about this compassion in the practice. See, the people, large, huge number of people used to come from African countries. For even now, I think it is continuing. That is the first exposure for me to the Amma's world. So I thank you. I seek blessings from Amma and all of your support to continue our work efficiently. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kaustubh Upadhyaya ji. Your dedication on how challenges were allowed to be converted to opportunities and solutions has allowed to see eMAP and AyurCeL also into success. We loved your recollection of the past and your story with Dr. Ramesh as well. Through projects like this, we also look forward to seeing how potential of Ayurveda can be showcased on these portals. We are very touched by RAV's Guru Shishya Parampara that resounds so close to our own hearts. We very much appreciate how you hold compassion close to your heart. Thank you, sir. May I please invite Dr. Shyam Vinayan, Associate Professor, Department of Shalya Tantra, to facilitate our Dr. Kaustubh Upadhyaya ji. Thank you. Let me now invite our Dr. Tanuja Nesari ji to address this gathering.
Professor Tanuja Nesari, currently working as the Director as well as Head, Division of Translational Research and Biostatic at the All India Institute of Ayurveda, New Delhi. Also Chair for Health Sector Sub-Skill Council for Ayush under Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. She is the Additional Director of Academics and Medical Superintendent at Chaudhary Brahma Prakash Ayurved Charak Sansthan. With 29 years of experience of teaching and Dravyaguna and Rasashastra, research in quality, safety and efficacy of medicinal plants, and rather a long list of successful completed clinical research projects in collaborations on national and international grounds. We are honored to have ma'am here. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you for reminding all my past journey. Thank you very much for the good introduction. Honorable, my pranams to Honorable Amma in its lotus feet, who is the synonym for the affection, care, compassion. And I'm also thankful for giving me honor to be share this very important dais to Honorable Dean Swami Shankarananda Puriji, Honorable Vice Chancellor Venkatarajan ji, Secretary Ministry of Ayush Vaidya Rajesh Koteja ji, Vaidya Jayant Dev Pujari ji, Advisor Kaustup Upadhyay ji, Ram Manohar ji, Krish Nambudri, my colleague from All India Institute of Ayurveda, Vaidya Anantaram Sharma. I think he is the one who was the initiator for the eMAP, and I'm really happy that the whatever was conceived is being continued and completed at the very able and confident and competent team under the visionary guidance of the Dean and Principal Ramesh and the team Nambudari eMAP. I congratulate for the eMAP, and I also congratulate our friend Dr. Rama Manohar for AyurCeL and for very, very techno-savvy creation of Ayurveda case reports, where it is a preprint server and also capacity building and repository. And as our secretary has committed, directed us, we commit from All India Institute of Ayurveda that we will take it to the next level, where preprint server, the cases will be able to publish at AyurCare, sir. So congratulations, Ram Manohar ji. You are always innovative, and thank you for inviting and considering me to be a part of, and All India Institute to be a part of this very important event, which is a landmark event in the history of Ayurveda also, having techno-savvy. As Vaidya Jayant Dev Pujari ji mentioned that there should be such platforms of eMAP, not only in Panchakarma, but other subjects also. So I would like to say here that with the help of Ministry and Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapit, the other subjects, developing the module for the other subjects other than Panchakarma, All India Institute has been given this task of developing other 12 subjects since 2021, and we have completed 2 rounds each. I mean to say that 2 rounds each of CME of all for 12 subjects which we have been given since 2021 during COVID and post-COVID also. So 2 CME each in Dravya Guna Rasa Shastra and other subjects, and where we have requested all the resource persons from the CME and outside CREP, Pan India, who are the legend and the key persons in their particular subject to help us and create developing this e-module. And we have been already, it is on 80% work has been completed, and I assure that maybe we'll complete within next few days, and where we will get the blessings from the highest position from the ministry and also from Amrita school also, because we have the synergy in working and from the NCISM. And I would like to congratulate, because we can understand how hard it is to develop this e-content. We have learning management software, we have graphic designer, we have IT backbone, and many others who are working background for creating this e-content. And we would also like to congratulate for this eMAP in Panchakarma all the faculties, and I can see very important institutions like Jiva and Aryavadeshala, Kottakal, and many others who are also join online and also participate in this process. So we congratulate each and everyone for contributing to this on behalf of All India, and maybe we appeal everyone to join for completing this task of learning management system and e-learning and digital platform for the benefit of the scholars and the society across to everyone. So this was one thing which I wanted to share. And as we know that the best institutions cannot be created only by infrastructure, huge infrastructures like this, knowledge, skill, but what makes the difference is about the value-based education and an attitudinal change that we can see here. As in the morning, Honorable Vice Chancellor mentioned about best, everything best, best NIRF ranking, best university ranking, and the best institutions. And similarly, we have the synergy. We congratulate and we are really inspired and motivated by this journey of the best. How this value-based education and that value and attitudinal to take this education into the service of the humanity to the society, where the educators and the education, our students, they do the service to the nation and humanity as a whole. So this attitudinal and value-based teaching and training, that was the exact same value and the same dream of Honorable Prime Minister from Vajpayee ji to Modi ji through Ministry of Ayush Secretary and our ministers, that has been envisioned at All India Institute of Ayurveda to create a center of excellence in translational research in education and in patient care. So I think we have the synergy and we have the blessings of Ma Ammaji and this institution, because we are really greatly blessed to create this success model of All India Institute of Ayurveda, which is envisioned by Ministry of Ayush. We have been blessed by Amrita School of Ayurveda, by two very value-based and very competent and passionate faculty. One is Prashant Dharmarajan and another is Anantram Sharma. And I must commit here, sir, with the secretary, that during COVID time, when entire world was under the curfew, but All India Institute was the one who was with the curfew pass, our all family as a whole, II family, 500 people under the vision of ministry, we were in the institute and we created Care with Compassion. That's the COVID Health Center. And the name Care with Compassion was coined by Prashant Dharmarajan, sir. And that, I think, these blessings and these values are being carried to the highest premier institution at the central level. So these are the blessings and the value and how the impact and the passion has been created. The second, the Anantram Sharma, he joined us later in between the COVID, but during 1 year with his committed service, he has been now serving as a medical superintendent, where our Minister Secretary mentioned that we have been able to cater and create this solution as a holistic and integrated solution, where treatment is holistic Ayurveda, Panchakarma, diet, lifestyle, and it is supported with the conventional diagnostic tools and technology. And we have catered 1,500,000 patients so far, and all our committed faculty, committed scholars, paramedical staff, all, and we have the capacity building program as well. We are implementing agency for many of our programs for the ministry also. So this value-based education and the passionate and competent faculty is being part of that. That we can really feel the now how the best institutions can be considered as a best. It is not all matters, but the value and passion, compassion that matters, that we are really experiencing and we are really blessed. And last year, we started our PhD program, and many of our, it is the competitive examination, and in the entrance exams, Swamiji, the Amrita School, the MD programs, they got the admission as our PhD scholar as well. So we really have a very good synergy, and you are supporting us in this form of the supporting best students and the teachers and the faculty. And your visit, Swamiji, you visited to our institution. We were blessed by your visit. And after your visit, it was the suggestion that there should be more spiritual vibes, there should be a psychological and the healing touch to the patient. And after your visit, we have started every day chanting. Every day continuous morning chanting is there. We have the Havana. So that's the impact of your visit. And we really have Faridabad, the center, and we really wish that maybe we have the MOU for all other activities. This also where we have the exchange of the patients. Also, we patient get benefit from the Faridabad to the Ayurveda, All India Institute and All India Institute of Ayurveda get the benefits, patients and the student of the Amrita Center at, which is very, we are the neighbors. And as mentioned by Secretary, G20 will be very happy and will be honored to host the G20, all the delegates, C20 delegates, because we have a lot of activities in the public health. Since beginning, it is not translational research, postgraduate training, but we have 5 public health projects, PHI projects funded by Ministry of Ayush in mother and child, in the musculoskeletal disorder, mental health, and also the stress, police stress health, and we completed 80,000 police personnel. So we have public health research data of 50,000 patients and 5 areas and 80,000 patients in Delhi police, which is published in Frontiers of Public Health. So maybe we will be able to showcase what is our linkage with the community, how our Dhanvantari Rath, the services, our scholars, they go every day to the police personnel colony, and how we capture the data as HMIs and all the data, it is in the research mode weekend. So we'll be very happy and honored to host where the Ministry of Ayush and the Secretary will definitely guide us how we take it to the next level. So that was the one commitment from our side. And also only one thing I would complete, that we have been doing many as a nodal agency, pharmacovigilance. So maybe you are also part of, many of institutions are the nodal center, peripheral center for pharmacovigilance. Similarly, recently, last year, there was Ayurveda Day, with the support of NCISM and whole government approach. Ayurveda Day was Ayurveda everywhere, Ayurveda by everyone. It is like Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and it was 23 ministries, they came together. All India was the nodal agency. So this Amrita Vidyapith, where it is a multidisciplinary biotechnology, engineering, and many other courses are also joined together. This is the best example where Ayurveda every day, Ayurveda everywhere, is not only for one day, but we can continue practicing this across the university, and maybe Ayurveda department can take a lead where we percolate Ayurveda every day, Ayurveda everywhere. Now, it may not be not a yoga break, but dinacharya, ritucharya, whatever we practice in Ayurveda institution may be practiced across everyone. So that's how Ayurveda Day everywhere and Ayurveda everywhere. And we have created the website. And in one day, we received 1,87 lakh support. Only I support Ayurveda. This is the strength in the society. As our secretary mentioned, that 90% people, it is the knowledge system of healthy and happy life. And if we want to test it, how it has been imbibed in our culture, religion, and it is the practices. So this is the support, and maybe we create this Ayurveda ecosystem as a knowledge of healthy and happy life through this vehicle, maybe Amrita, and with all and such institutions under ministry, we can do. I have been also given the responsibility to work as a CEO, National Medicinal Plant Board. And recently, we have launched the campaign as Ashwagandha campaign. Last year it was Guruji. This year is Ashwagandha. As we say, Secretary mentioned that the turnover of the Ayurveda products and the medicine has gone 6 times up. Ashwagandha is the number 1 unicorn. First unicorn by Karthikeyan is by Ashwagandha. So I take this opportunity to use this platform to appeal each and everyone, all the organizations who are in this offline and online mode, to use this scheme, Ashwagandha, which has the cost norm of 18 lakhs, and there are on the NMPB website. So use this and promote Ashwagandha as a health promoter. Maybe every time ministry promotes these schemes, species-specific campaign. So maybe we can utilize that. We can utilize public health initiative schemes. And also this year is International International year for the millet, and we have Ayurveda Ahar. So we are creating startups and the ecosystem in all C20, not only in Faridabad, but all C20 platforms. You can have Ayurveda Ahar. You can serve. We have the dialogue with Culinary Chef, so President Culinary Chef of India, and we have with our national institutes, we have Ayurveda Ahar. So maybe we can serve millet-based Pathyaahar, Ayurveda Ahar to each and everyone. I wish everyone healthy and happy life, and with the blessings of Ammaji, maybe we can bring the change in the society. And as Ammaji has blessed us with best faculty, best students, and maybe one day where the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of creating the best model of Ayurveda care, holistic, is envisioned at All India Institute under the ministry. Maybe one day she will come us to bless us also. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tanuja Nasariji. Thank you for all the support, the openness, and the promise to work together. We are very happy to learn about the CME events at your institute. It's a joy for us to hear that Dr. Anantram Sharma, whom we still call family, is now your medical superintendent. You rightly highlighted the difficulty in developing e-content. We appreciate that you highlighted a joint focus on public health and on value-based education. Thank you very much. May I request Professor and Head of the Department of Samhita, Siddhanta and Sanskrit, Dr. Usha Kumari C., to felicitate Dr. Tanuja Nesariji. Thank you. We have amongst us Dr. Krish Ramachandran from Harvard Medical School on BIDMC. May I invite Dr. Krish Ramachandran to address the gathering.
Dr. Satyakrishna Ramachandran is an internationally recognized leader in healthcare. After his early years in Pondicherry, he developed his career at JIPMER, Oxford, the Royal College of Anesthetists, the University of Michigan, Brandeis, and Harvard. Dr. Krish is a busy clinician, educator, and a widely cited researcher. He is a professor at Harvard Medical School, practices anesthesiology, and leads healthcare change at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center in Boston. He is also an IAC member for C20 Working Group for Integrated and Holistic Health. Throughout his career, he has brought together diverse teams across continents through the unifying vision of service, compassion, and science. This zeal for innovation has brought him back to India after decades in the UK and US. Along with leaders at Amrita, he is leading the International Institute for Health Innovation. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for the very warm introduction, Amrita and I have a couple of statutory warnings before I thank the guests here who have spoken so wonderfully before me. The first is, it's just 2 days since I landed from the US, so I have this fear that I'll fall asleep on stage. If I do, please wake me up. And the second is, as an anesthesiologist, if I do a good job, all of you are asleep. So I hope I don't do a good job on stage. Vaidya Rajesh Koteja ji, Swamiji, Vaidya Diyo Pujari ji, Upadhyay ji, Nesari ji, and Ramanohar ji. Thank you very much for the honor to share the dais with you, other dignitaries who are not on the stage, my dear colleagues and friends. Today, don't have anything to talk to you about because everyone has said everything that you need to know, and I don't know anything about Ayurveda other than I was a patient of the system many years back. I used to play cricket a lot as a kid, and I think I hurt my right shoulder girdle bowling off spin. And I just remember the patyam and the treatments and 3 months of my life. But it was a much better choice for me as a aspiring anesthesiologist than a lifetime on diazepam to help with muscle spasms. So I think there's a little story there for every one of us to think about. But I don't want to talk about my health here. I want to talk about some fundamental principles that we all should consider at this, what I think others have spoken about, golden period for India, and a lot of challenges becoming opportunities. So there's various aspects of the change in the world around us coming together in the C20 opportunity that we have here, and this new institute that I'll talk a little bit about. I don't want to take too much of your time because the third warning is that there's nothing like hunger to sharpen your mind about keeping your talk short. So I'm going to try very hard with that as well. The three principles are really to embrace this need for urgency. Now, when I come to India, the one thing that strikes me every time I come here is just the level of talent that everyone has. It's truly inspiring. Every one of us is walking around with all these dreams and hopes that we want to do something really impactful for the people around us. That sort of tends to dissipate over time, but we need to hold it back and understand that time for action is now. As Swami Vivekananda exhorted us, this is the time to arise, awaken, and not stop till we reach our goal. And why now? Because the size and scope of what we call these large global challenges, these grand challenges that Venkat talked about, we call them wicked problems in design thinking. Problems that are wicked because they're not just limited to Kerala, they're not just limited to the ecosystem around you. They are in Bihar, they are in Bangladesh, they are everywhere in the world. We just don't know because we don't see that far, right? So either because of the fear that this might affect us today or tomorrow, which is driven by self-preservation, or by some of the principles, eternal principles that my previous speakers spoke about, that are enshrined in Sanatana Dharma, the time to act, whether for yourself or for the others around you, is now. The second concept I want to talk about, as you're thinking how and what to do, is to embed a very inclusive vision and understand how that's happening. Service and love. Those are the two words that first attracted me to Amma, and seeing her around the tsunami. One of our family friends had a handheld video camera that was recording Amma during the 3 days and nights when the waters came up here. These bricks and mortar, this building, this stage, is a manifestation of a sankalpa. So when we talk of vision, there are visions that end up with like this, and there are other visions that go nowhere. So think about these larger visions and the fact that they should infuse every member in your organization, in your team, every one of your employees. And it's not just a spiritual thing. It's happened in other organizations. There's stories of how John F. Kennedy, at the peak of the Cold War, when America was on a race with Russia to put a man on the moon, he is supposed to have gone and asked a janitor, a sweeper, what he was doing. I mean, that's quite a stupid question. I mean, he's there to sweep the floor, but the janitor told him he's there like every day to put a man on the moon. That is how much everyone in NASA felt that their job was to beat Russia at it and to put a man on the moon. And the person who's cleaning the floor is thinking, if this place is cleaner, it would inspire everyone who's coming into work to do the best that they can. It's not just him. If you look at Abdul Kalam ji at ISRO or Feynman, the list of people who have managed to do this in their environments is tremendous. But I don't have to keep talking about Amma because everyone is, but the story here is Amma's examples are not just this one example that comes in newsprint. It's every day. And as we embark on this C20 IHH work, I'd like us to just reflect on how well our various teams understand this vision. How much are we embedding this inclusive vision in our thinking, in our planning, and so on and so forth. Visions need to be inclusive, and I want to talk a little bit about that because when we think about inclusion, there are some definitions for it, but I want to test you on that. It's not a question and answer session by any account. The first is this concept for as empathy for other inputs. Priya spoke about this, Koteja ji spoke about it, we spoke about it separately. This idea that you're listening to other people and you are trying to understand how these people, what their opinions are, how do you take that in, how open are you to these inputs? Often we call the voices we don't hear very much lesser voices. And I want to stop us from doing that because in fact, those are the voices you're not hearing, but those are the voices that reflect the majority of the people whose lives you want to change. So in fact, they're the bigger voices that you're just deaf to. And so when we think about systems and change, you have to embed inside a real active listening, going out, understanding how to pull in input so that you're not just listening to the loud and strong voices next to you, that you're actually listening to everyone who is affected by a particular condition. Inclusion also involves accepting or understanding other approaches to health. And the beauty for me, the learning today was really the separation of Ayurveda for health and allopathy for disease. And this concept is so important because there's people across both sides, I'm sure in this audience as well, who feel very strongly that the other side is wrong, is terrible. But empathy and inclusive visions allow for this tension and allow you to understand that what you are doing is just reacting to something. You feel that your temperature is rising, your skin feels awful when someone is telling you something you don't like. But beneath that, listen to them. Understand what they are talking about, what the constraints are, because these are barriers for the success of your vision, for your group's vision. If you don't listen to that, it's going to be a problem at some other point. So understand and take in these inputs. The C20, in my opinion, and I want to talk about one specific thing as well when we consider such biases. Amma once said that there are over 7 billion worlds on Earth. I think I'm paraphrasing. She says this so much more beautifully than I can. But the idea that every one of us has a set of beliefs that makes us feel that our thinking is unique is really at the root of a lot of these problems that you see around what one person said and the other person reacted. So use things like the C20 as an opportunity to understand our people, define problems better, and ideate on ways that you can make things better. But you have to listen to people to understand what problems are before you can go out and fix them. Otherwise, you're just implementing what you want to implement, not what the people need. So ask yourselves, are we including the world's problems or just our own? Are our solutions inclusive and applicable to the worlds outside our mind's eye? The third thing I want to briefly talk about is to form powerful guiding coalitions. These grand challenges and wicked problems mean that it does not make sense anymore for us to do this small cottage industry type activity anymore. We need to get together these large coalitions of people who are powerful enough to make change. And some of these people are the patients and the communities affected by these conditions as well. The II4HI is a manifestation of that need for a grand coalition. and pulls together experts from many international universities and organizations. It is currently envisioned as a special institute under Amrita University and has 4 focus areas. The first is to bring the best of data science and research effectiveness and methods and devices to the Amrita ecosystem in a way that currently does not exist. To bring world-class methods for healthcare delivery. And again, Koteja ji and I, we were talking about this. Healthcare delivery in India is so fragmented, is so undefined, and as a result, the quality of care given to people is so variable. And so thinking about how you're going to make an impact there, who are you going to get to the table and how you're going to approach that, not just healthcare for disease, but health at large, is really one of those grand challenges which is worth investing time and effort into. The third is to transform knowledge and create leaders in healthcare and workers in healthcare, the workforce for the future. The fourth is to create powerful coalitions for startup ecosystems so that we're bringing together the best of business, science, communities, and other important stakeholders such that we can take some of these ideas that come from within our ecosystems and outside and transform them so that there is much better impact for societies. So the C20 processes on one hand give us a chance to look at problems, to define problems and identify potential solutions, and institutions like the II4HI, which is in evolution right now, helps us take some of these ideas and implement them. I want to harken back to the inauguration of the AIIMS at Faridabad when the Honorable Prime Minister spoke about private-public partnerships in the pursuit of better health for the nation. And I have no doubts that this powerful voice that he spoke with articulated key messages for us that are relevant to people on this stage, people in the audience, and for every aspect of C20. And that is, look at each opportunity that you have, understand who's across the table. Don't look at a problem, don't create a solution for a problem. That's like saying, for a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So don't walk around with a hammer. Right? So try to understand what the problems are, get the right people across the room, and then understand how much of these you can actually change, get the coalitions together, and really spend the time making it work. As Gethe said, knowing is not enough. We must apply. Essentially getting us to think about not just the knowledge of what is the better way to do things, but actually going out and doing them. I look forward to working with leaders, including Ayush and teams, as we embark on these inspiring journeys that we've heard a lot about, and would like to thank every one of the organizers for inviting me and putting together a wonderful program. Congratulations to the teams for their excellent e-platforms that have been showcased today. And I rest my words with at the lotus feet of Amma. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Satya Krishna Ramachandran, for your kind words and for the many connections that you enabled linking Amrita and BIDMC. Thank you for reminding us time is now, and it's crucial that we tackle by trying to see farther. You have reminded us to think of the larger visions and being inclusive. As you pointed out, we do hope the C20 will help us work on coalitions that address healthcare divides. May I request Dr. Sharath SG, Associate Professor, Rachana Sharira, to facilitate Dr. Krish. Thank you. We request Honorable Secretary of Ayush, Vaidya Rajesh Koteja ji, to felicitate few of our amazing colleagues who are here as honorable guests and who have been part of the eMAP and AyurCeL. through their clinical work, contributions, and collaborations. We also request our guests who will come to receive the felicitations to stay back on the side of the halls so we can take a group photo with all of us on dais at the end of the felicitations. Thank you.
In this honored and blessed occasion, there is a list to be felicitated. First of all, I am here to call upon Dr. Jyoti Joshi, Chief Physician, Joshi's Panchakarma Clinic, Panvel, Mumbai. Ma'am has contributed the highest number of cases for the AyurCeL portal, so this award is a token of appreciation for her valid contribution. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Next, I request Dr. Anantaraman PV, Medical Superintendent, Professor and HOD, Department of Panchakarma, All India Institute of Ayurveda, to please receive the award. Sir, please. Thank you, sir. Next, I take the honor to call upon Dr. Pratibha CK, Professor and HOD, Department of Panchakarma, GS Ayurveda Medical College, UP. Ma'am, please. Thank you, ma'am. Now it's an honor to call Dr. B.A. Lohit, Professor and HOD, Department of Panchakarma, SDM College of Ayurveda, Karnataka. Sir, please. Next, I'm honored to call upon Dr. Chandra Maulishwaran P., Professor, RVS Ayurveda College, Coimbatore, to take the award. Sir, please. Thank you, sir. Next, I call upon Dr. Sarvesh Kumar, Associate Professor, Department of Panchakarma, National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur, Rajasthan, to please receive the award. Now I call upon Dr. Kshipra Rajoria, Assistant Professor, Department of Panchakarma, National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur, Rajasthan, to please receive the award.
Next, I call upon Dr. K. Parameshwaran Nambudri, Professor and Head, Department of Panchakarma, Amrita School of Ayurveda, to receive the award. Thank you. Next, I call upon Dr. Vishnu U, Associate Professor, Department of Panchakarma, Amrita School of Ayurveda. Next, I call upon Dr. Kadambari PB, Assistant Professor, Department of Panchakarma, Amrita School of Ayurveda. Next, I call upon Dr. Vishnu Raj S, Assistant Professor, Department of Panchakarma, Amrita School of Ayurveda. Next, I call upon Dr. Aishwarya IV, Assistant Professor, Department of Panchakarma, Amrita School of Ayurveda. Next, I would like to call Dr. Sharanya S., Senior Research Fellow, eMAP, to receive the gratitude. I request all the guests who have received the felicitation, please come onto the dais so we can take a group pic. I also request all the guests on the dais to join the photo.
No. No function is complete without a word of thanks and appreciation and gratitude to all those who made this evening possible. May I please invite Dr. Vishnu, you, to come and offer the word of thanks, please.
Dr. Vishnu U, Associate Professor, Department of Panchakarma, Amrita School of Ayurveda. Welcome, sir.
Om Amriteshwari Amma, my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Amma. Respected dignitaries and distinguished guests on and off the dais, I understand that this is not a good time for an elaborate vote of thanks. Actually, I have prepared 2 pages of vote of thanks, but it is my duty that on behalf of the Amrita School of Ayurveda, I have to extend my sincere thanks. It was really a great honor to have this launch today in the presence of such distinguished guests like Rajesh Koteja sir, Bhuchari sir, Upadhyay sir, Nesri madam, Ramano sir, Chris sir. So it was since 2 days I was preparing the vote of thanks, but I not at all feel that it is a good time to deliver that. So from the bottom of heart and with all my respect and loveness to all of you, I kindly I express my sincere gratitude for your valuable presence here, all the dignitaries. You have all made our day memorable and of utmost importance. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And like this, a function will not happen in a single day. So like it has a lot of people who has contributed for this successful execution of this program. So I, on behalf of Amrita School of Ayurveda and the entire fraternity, I thank the Create, AOC, ICTS, the TV, all this together worked in hand for the successful completion of this event. So I thank once again to all the fraternity here and all the representatives who have come from different organizations like Vishwa Parishad, our AMI, all those representatives. We value all your presence, but because it is not the right time, I am winding up. Thank you so much. Above all, I thank Almighty Mata Amrita Devi for the successful showering her blessing and for the successful conduction of this program. Thank you. Thank you all.
As the official conclusion of the formal event, may I request all of us to rise up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
That brings us to the close of the program. Hot lunch is waiting for you, although we are late. Please join us for lunch, and thank you all once again.